Hey, this is the second part of my conversation with Hilary Walton. In this video, we're going to talk about her mindset and how does she achieve such a great level of success in her career. So stick around. She has some pro tips to share to us. So much to unpack from these few years that you summarized, but there's so much more to talk about. But how do you feel going into the male-dominated field that it always has been or has been up until a few years back, and we're really starting to see a lot of
better mix of gender come into cybersecurity and technology, which is great, and particularly at Microsoft. I think we're sort of quite good at that. But
how was it
I guess because growing up, it was so the careers I've had. Like if you think about it, Air Force, and then even going into MI5 and the Olympics, like they were probably fairly male-dominated industries because they just kind of were. It was the time that it was. I guess going in as a psychologist was kind of a softer route because actually that was a woman-dominated career, being a psychologist. So it's almost kind of interesting that,
shifted.
I've had that kind of experience. And I guess you never really felt like I was different, but certainly coming into cybersecurity and technology, I guess you started to feel like, oh, do I know enough? Am I technical enough? Do I ask very good questions? Have I really got a seat at this particular table I'm sitting at? Because I didn't come from studying cybersecurity and technology at university. And then I think because I've worked with really great people and I've just picked up so much actually in role through the different careers I've had. And then so you sort of start the role thinking, oh God, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to be found out. And then enough time passes and you kind of go, oh, okay, no, I think I've got this. And then you're like, oh yeah, it's okay, I've got it. And I think because I've done that quite a few times and lots of different iterations and lots of different organizations, you get to a point where you just got to back yourself and go, I've done it before, surely I can do it again, and away we go. And then more recently, my narrative around this whole technical, non-technical thing has been changing as well. And I think too often we think about it as, option A and option B, like they're two different things, but actually they're more on a continuum. Like being technical is a whole continuum, and there's lots of different people who are at one end, extremely technical, hands-on tools, that kind of, but then down this end, people still have some technical prowess, but they might not be, doing the do and the tools. So when I think about it as a continuum, that helps me anyway, because I'm like, of course I'm technical. Like, we're growing up with computers and there's no way almost you can't be technical these days. You'll be on that continuum somewhere. So I'm trying to get people to move away from that language of non-technical and technical, because I think everyone's technical. It's just how much are you? Does that make sense?
It is a great point, because a lot of what you're telling me is you haven't necessarily driven your career up to that point in terms of passion. You were building up knowledge, building up your career capital, which is something I read about recently, and I find fascinating because in order to be good at something, you need to do something. You need to really apply yourself to it, deliberately apply yourself to it, and that's what I'm hearing from you. You've done that. You've delved into that world in that way, and really gained experience that way.
Like I've always had something that I've been chasing after, a direction I kind of have wanted to head of some sort. Or maybe I found myself in a place and then I was like, oh, I quite like that over there, I'll head in that direction. It's changed over time, as is natural, I think. But, I've had times when I've like, right, I want to be a CEO. CIO, or even CEO actually, but anyway, let's start with CIO. I want to be a CIO. What would be the types of things that a CIO might read, look at? What kind of networks would they be in? And then I've tried to do all of those things. Yeah,
you allow self time to build up on those skills, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing, great mentality.
Absolutely. And like even like kind of a completely different example of that is there's this program that we have called Women of Influence in New Zealand, and it's like it's a big awards, like it's one of those mega awards that you really super aspire to. and I would go read the profiles of all the ladies who had won these awards. And these are like CEOs, they're founders, some of them are dames. It's people like Suzy or like Hellen Clark, like so mega influential, amazing powerhouse woman. And I'd read their profiles to just get a feeling of what have they done that makes them so amazing. And then I'd actually look at the nomination form for that particular award, and I'd think about, if I was going to fill in one of these one day, what would I need to have in these boxes? How there's normally like 3 things you need to answer. And then I'd try and work backwards. So that's kind of a wee tip. I haven't actually told anyone that I've done this.
That's amazing, yeah.
But and then I would think, okay, so if I was going to apply for the Boards and Management Award or the Arts or the whatever it is, what would I need to have done to for myself to feel worthy to apply? What kind of things would I need to have in those boxes? And then I'd think about, how can I do that? So if mentoring, for example, was a really important thing for an award, then I'd go and try and seek out opportunities to mentor people, or to do some kind of something that put me in the direction of being a mentor. So yeah, I haven't thought about that before, but that is definitely something I've done. Like, I've tried to reverse engineer from an award category. What would I need to do if I was going to win this, or at least be eligible to apply? So I don't know if that's a useful tip for other people, but
we're just arriving at a good point in time here where we can start thinking about what amazing things you're doing currently. You currently run a community called Digital Culture. You have your YouTube channel. You have an avid following in LinkedIn as well. What would you like to leave as a takeaway for anyone listening to this, and that they could learn from you and get from you?
Yeah, great question. I think, so my thoughts around all of that, and I guess particularly why I did all the online stuff with YouTube channel, was part of me was thinking, how do I tell the market or people kind of about myself that I'm around, and these are the kind of the skills that I have. And then I saw social media was becoming a thing, and actually Microsoft Office had sort of developed these tools where people needed to do updates, like Teams messages and the Yammer and things like that. And as I was rolling out Office within the job that I was doing at Airways, which is kind of like a quasi-CIO role, and I noticed that it's a change in behavior. It's a different thing. And so I started to do little video updates and just telling people around what I was doing, where the project was at, that kind of thing. And then I found a concept that really proved to me exactly what I was doing, which is called working out loud. So it's a sort of a concept, if you like. It's a social learning method by a guy called John Stepper, called Working Out Loud. And it's about, you narrate what work you're doing, and you reach out, you use your network, and you can help your network by providing valuable information to them. You're quite transparent about what you're up to, and it's like a growth mindset. You don't have to be the expert in something, but you tell people that you're on a journey to learn more about that thing. And then you're telling people the things you're finding that are useful or not useful as you go. It's this whole working out loud concept. And I've really wrapped that up into how I do my social media and YouTube channel and podcasts. It's all about trying to work out loud, which I saw as a change in behavior that's required in this more digital world. So hence the digital culture kind of ideas thing. It's like, how do we become more digital? What are the behaviors required? What impact is it having on how we communicate or make decisions, our lives, how we interact? And so that was the whole premise of the digital culture stuff. So yeah, definitely check out the Working Out Loud kind of work. There's kind of book and there's groups you can join and things like that. But yeah, that might be a useful concept for someone who's just a little bit worried about putting themselves out there. Because you can do it in a way, you're just on a learning journey. You don't have to be have all those lines on your CV, all those degrees or certifications. It's just about learning as you go along the way.
Thank you so much for your time, Hills. Would you have any last words for the audience?
Yeah, in terms of last words, and it's something of my career I've just realized over and over again, is that you shouldn't say no on behalf of other people. So what I mean is, if you're thinking about applying for a role, you could say, "Oh no, I won't because I'm not good enough, or I don't feel like I should do that role." That's you saying no on behalf of someone else. Always put the application in, or always try, and let the market or let the other person say no for themselves, because you'd be surprised how often people just don't put themselves forward, and they probably would have got the role, or they would have achieved the thing, or they would have been really successful at whatever it is. And so I just think it's really important to always put yourself forward, and then see where everything lands.
Amazing. Yeah. No. Thank you for the insight, Hilary. Yeah. I'll in the description I'll leave the links for Hilary multiple channels and where you can find her as well. But thank you so much for your time, Hills, and I hope you had a great day.
Awesome. Thanks, Andre. Take care. See ya.
Now, I hope you're enjoying your weekend just as much as I am editing this and doing this for you. And that's why, if you like this kind of videos, make sure you like and you subscribe to keep seeing more interesting conversations with people from cybersecurity, people from the industry that are doing exciting stuff that is available sometimes to you, and that they're trying to help the community as well. All right, with that said, hope you have a good one.